This is a two-part exhibition which looks to examine the differences in the concept of luxury from the European and the Asian perception, and also from the male and the female perspective. So brush pots are really a quintessential symbol of the literati scholar. So we have quite a few examples ranging from the really quite simplistic, such as this Huang Hua Li piece, which really basically highlights the grain patterning of this precious material, to some rather more sophisticated pieces with inlay made with precious materials such as coral and ivory. Here is one of my favorite galleries of the whole exhibit. This is our Huang Hua Li study. So you have a number of pieces that would make up a very typical study at that time. You have a beautiful long table, which is long enough for painting or writing on scrolls. And then on top of it, you would have a number of the playthings that would have been collected by a man of this class, I suppose. So here, for example, you have a table stand. You have, of course, the brush pot, and you have some wrist rest so that you can rest your wrist when you're doing your calligraphy. And then a box so that you can store all your documents. What we wanted to do with this exhibit, much like we did downstairs, is to trace the parallel between these luxury objects to the role of women in society at the time and how that evolves throughout the 20th century. So here we're still in the 1900s, and what women were really carrying at that point were just these really beautiful but extremely delicate gold mesh bags. I think it kind of symbolizes, these things, while very beautiful, they don't actually do very much, they don't hold very much. And I think the role of women at that time was very similar in that they were beautiful ornaments to men. You would think during wartime, cosmetics wouldn't be something that would be on anybody's priority list. Actually, the British War Office thought that it would be bad for morale if women weren't still made up and looked very attractive. So while cosmetics were very expensive, they were actually never rationed. So I think that again tells us something quite poignant about women's role in society at that time, is that their physical appearance was so instrumental to how society functioned as a whole. After the war, we have the 1950s, and we have Dior's new look. The art of making these vanities, I would say, has mostly disappeared after the 1960s. There are several reasons for this. One is that cosmetic houses such as Lancôme and L'Oréal have started creating these cosmetic cases that are ready-made and for the masses. So then there was no need for the high-end jewelry houses, which had traditionally made these cases, to continue producing them at very, very great cost and great expense. That's not to say that there are none anymore. We have a few pieces here, for example, this one from the 1990s and this one from 2001, but you can see that we've almost gone back full circle, that now we've come back to these beautiful, exquisite cases that are, gone back to being very, very small and actually more serve an aesthetic rather than a function.